Today's NFL game runs through the quarterback position.
Overrated. There's nothing worse than being called that as a pro athlete, and that's what an anonymous NFL exec said about Josh Allen.
Not every quarterback, though, is built the same. So let's take a look at 10 quarterbacks who fit the definition of overrated. Tua Tagovailoa, Atlanta Falcons. If we're making a list of overrated quarterbacks, then it's gotta start with Tua Tagovailoa. Since being named the starter in South Beach, Tua has been inconsistent at best. While he did lead the league in passing yards in 2023 with 4,624 yards and led the Dolphins to the playoffs, he has not lived up to the hype. A quick glance at Tua's career stats do not paint an accurate picture of his standing in the league. Tagovailoa has a career record of 44-32, 120 touchdowns to 59 interceptions, and a completion percentage of 68%. However, over the last 6 seasons, Tua's weaknesses have been repeatedly exposed, showing that the quarterback is nowhere near worth the 4-year, $212.4 million extension that he signed in 2024. In fact, Tua was cut by the Dolphins after the 2025 season and signed a 1-year deal worth the league minimum in Atlanta, where he's now looking to resurrect his career. Shedeur Sanders, Cleveland Browns. There's no question that Shedeur Sanders is a talented quarterback. The problem is that there is no way he can live up to the hype that he entered the NFL with. Sanders had a very successful but brief college career. He played 2 seasons with Colorado, throwing for over 7,300 yards with 64 touchdowns. Entering the 2025 draft, there was a lot of hype on the young quarterback, but that seemed to be more a result of his father. Sanders is the son of Hall of Fame cornerback Deion Sanders, who is one of the best self-promoters the sports world has ever seen. Entering the NFL is tough enough. It's made even tougher, though, when you're the son of a legendary player. When the hype machine is factored in, the pressure to perform goes way through the roof. What didn't help Sanders was that he was drafted by one of the most inept teams in the entire league, the Cleveland Browns. In 8 starts during the 2025 season, Sanders flashed his potential, but the Browns' ineptness held him back. As long as the young QB stays in the mess that exists in Cleveland, his hype will not match his performance, labeling Shedeur Sanders as overrated. Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills. I know I'm going to get some blowback for this selection, but let's start off with the obvious. Josh Allen is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL today. The 4-time Pro Bowler and 2024 MVP has led the Bills to 7 straight winning seasons, compiling a win-loss record of 88-39 with over 30,000 passing yards and 220 touchdowns. Based solely on his on-field success and wide-ranging endorsements, the 29-year-old quarterback has clearly established himself as one of the faces of the game. So, how does one of today's star players end up on a list of overrated players? One word: playoffs. In the case of Josh Allen, it is a lack of playoff success. Allen led the Bills to 5 straight AFC East titles, establishing them as one of the best teams in the league. But over that time period, Allen has failed to lead Buffalo to a Super Bowl appearance, including the 2025 season when the arch-enemy Chiefs were absent from the playoffs. With their biggest obstacle nowhere to be seen, Allen was still unable to lead the Bills to the Super Bowl. Until Allen tastes postseason glory, he's going to remain on the overrated list. Kyler Murray, Minnesota Vikings. With the first overall pick of the 2019 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals selected quarterback Kyler Murray. With the announcement came a wave of excitement and optimism in the Phoenix area. With the use of hindsight, though, do you think the Cardinals regret that decision? How about that 5-year, $230.5 million contract that they signed Murray to in 2022? You think they regret that decision? Because despite being paired with other star players such as Marvin Harrison Jr., Zach Ertz, James Conner, and DeAndre Hopkins, Murray has led the Cardinals absolutely nowhere. In the 7 injury-prone seasons, Murray led the Cardinals to a 38-48-1 record. Much like another quarterback on our list, Tua, Kyler Murray was so bad in Arizona that the team released him in March of 2026. And will still be paying him over $36 million in 2026 to suit up for the Minnesota Vikings. Who knows, maybe the Vikings will be able to unlock his full potential, but based on the last 6 years, we've probably seen what Kyler Murray is. J.J. McCarthy, Minnesota Vikings. In 2022, the Vikings finished the season with a 13-4 record and a loss in the wildcard round of the playoffs with Kirk Cousins at the quarterback position. In 2024, the Vikings, with Sam Darnold under center, finished 14-3 with a loss in the wildcard round. moment. Minnesota seemed like a team on the brink of realistically winning a Super Bowl. In 2025, they turned the offensive reins over to rookie quarterback J.J. McCarthy. The 10th overall pick in 2024 came with a lot of promise and upside. Unfortunately for Vikings fans, that is not what they saw. McCarthy started 10 games for Minnesota in 2025 before succumbing to a hand injury. His 2024 rookie year was also lost due to injury. The injuries and inconsistent play led the Vikings to sign free agent quarterback Kyler Murray to a one-year deal. That's the same Kyler Murray who the Cardinals are paying over $36 million to go play someplace else. Perhaps J.J. McCarthy isn't the saving grace in Minnesota, and instead will be placed into the pile of overrated quarterbacks. Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys. What do you call a quarterback who has been selected to 4 Pro Bowls, won an Offensive Rookie of the Year award, thrown for almost 36,000 yards with 243 touchdowns, has a 66.9 career completion percentage, won 83 games, and is the signal caller for one of the most popular football teams in existence? Well, if we're talking about Dak Prescott, you call him overrated. Hey look, there's no denying that Mr. Prescott here is very talented in the regular season. Postseason success, well, that's just completely eluded the Cowboys quarterback. In 7 career playoff games, Prescott is 2-5. That lack of playoff success calls into question Prescott's place as one of the highest paid players in the game. He signed a 4-year, $240 million contract extension back in 2024. That deal will pay him an $80 million signing bonus and $231 million in guaranteed money. That seems like a lot of money to be paying to a quarterback who is yet to really produce when it matters most. Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens. Here's another choice for an overrated NFL quarterback that I'm sure will get a lot of pushback. Lamar Jackson is one of the biggest dual threats on a football field. His ability to throw and run the ball effectively has led to Jackson racking up multiple awards, including being named to 4 Pro Bowls, being named a 3-time All-Pro, winning 2 AP MVP awards, and 2 Player of the Year awards, culminating in what I'm sure is going to be an eventual selection to the Hall of Fame when he's done playing. But there is a black mark on Jackson's resume. Like many of the other quarterbacks on our list, Jackson lacks playoff success. The Ravens signal caller has led Baltimore to the playoffs in 5 seasons, resulting in a career playoff record of 3-5. In fact, Jackson's statistics across the board take a downward turn during the playoffs. Regular season success with postseason failure lands Lamar Jackson on our list of completely overrated quarterbacks. Jared Goff, Detroit Lions. It's kind of difficult to call a person who has spent 10 years playing quarterback in the NFL, starting 151 games, winning 90 of those starts, and amassing over 39,000 yards with 256 touchdowns, overrated, but here we are with Jared Goff. Selected by the Rams with the first overall pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, Goff went on to lead Los Angeles to a 42-27 record over his first 5 years in the league. He did steer the Rams to Super Bowl 53, but did not have a great day on the grandest stage. Against the Patriots that day, Goff threw for 229 yards with 1 interception in the 13-3 loss, which, by the way, is also the lowest scoring Super Bowl on record. In fact, the Rams would not win a Super Bowl until they traded Jared Goff to the Lions for Matthew Stafford, a former first overall pick with regular season success and postseason failure. Yeah, that's gonna earn Jared Goff his place among the game's most overrated quarterbacks. Justin Herbert, Los Angeles Chargers. Since entering the league, Herbert has established himself as one of the top young quarterbacks in the NFL. Over his first 6 seasons in the league, Herbert has been named to 2 Pro Bowls and won the 2020 Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's thrown for over 24,000 yards to go along with 163 touchdowns and a win-loss record of 52-43. This is not a bad start to a career, but for the 6th overall draft pick, more was expected from him. With Herbert under center, the Chargers have made the playoffs 3 times, being eliminated after 1 game all 3 times. Look, there is no denying that Herbert's a good quarterback, but if he wants to no longer be considered overrated, well, he needs some playoff success. Are you seeing a pattern here? Joe Burrow, Cincinnati Bengals. This is another difficult selection for this list. I mean, heck, I like Joe Burrow as a quarterback and would gladly take him on my favorite team. Since entering the league during the 2020 season, Burrow has established himself as one of the top quarterbacks in the league. However, there is one problem with that ranking. Burrow just has not led the Bengals to any playoff success. Well, at least meaningful playoff success. While he does hold a 5-2 career playoff record, record, Burrow has not led Cincinnati to Super Bowl success. In fact, during his only Super Bowl appearance to date, Burrow threw for 263 yards, but was sacked 7 times in their loss to the Rams. It is going to take some serious, consistent playoff success in order to remove Joe Burrow from this list. And, unfortunately, I don't see that happening anytime soon. But hey, who do you think is currently the most overrated quarterback playing in the NFL today? Do you agree with the selections that we made? What would your list look like? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.